legends are reaching me, sharing knowledge with you and me, teaching us how to lead with Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Yeah. Keep on building that synergy. One life at a time, you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One life at a time, you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One life at a time, you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One life at a time, you and me.
Hello, everyone. Give me a moment. Got to get to my dancing on. I know it's early afternoon, but guess what? I'm drinking plenty of water. I hope you are too. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful Fall Friday. I want to personally welcome you back to the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show. This is our third season. We are excited because we have birthed some more energy into our podcast. And yes, guys, that energy is called Synergy Girl. I hope you all have been following me on social media. You've been getting my newsletter. You've been getting my press releases and my Facebook Live because we told you Sharon Lee was coming back. We told you Synergy Girl was going to be launched. I want to just say, guys, you all are in for a major, major treat today. It may even be a part one and a part two because there's so much information to share. But we're going to have fun. We're going to engage one another. We want you all to do what we always do over here. You know, build that synergy, make those connections, right? So what do you start off by doing? You got to share this podcast. Share it with your family and your friends. If you're watching now, share it now on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page, on your TikTok page, on your X page. Share it. If you're watching it, you can also, if you're going to watch it later, you can also share it. But we want you all tuned in now. So let me handle some first administrative actions before I get started. You all know how I like to do it. They say what? Tell them what you told them and tell them again. Okay, so I'm telling you all, I'm telling you what I told you, and I'm going to tell you again. And it's really a big ask, okay? It's not a tell, it's an ask, okay? So I want you to first understand how the flow of the program is going to be. As we know, I always recognize my team. I want to thank Smart Video Girl, Krista Glenn, who's always been our engineer for the last 3 seasons, making us show up professionally and bright. So I want to thank her. She's behind the scenes with us today. I can't wait to share a new project, a new connection or connections that she has. I also want to thank Sean Parker, who was able to get my lighting set up for me so I can come across looking bright and lively and fun. And then 3, I want to thank Dana Parker and Dana for being creating our theme songs, Sharon Lee on the Run. I am extremely happy to share that although we just love the theme song, Sharon Lee on the Run, we're going to have a new theme song, and it's going to be geared around Synergy Girl. Y'all know what synergy means to me. It means unlimited connections. It means doing things collectively because we can't do it by ourselves, right? So we do this stuff collectively. And then last but not least, I just want to say from the administrative standpoint, if you all are commenting over on YouTube, please always share your name. And then, when you make a comment, put your comment, give your name. If you're going to ask a question, share your name, because I don't think I can see your name over there on YouTube. If you are watching us on the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show, for the family and friends who have not sent their request over to the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show, you can only watch it on YouTube, right? So you have to go to the Leading Within with Sharon Lee and then subscribe, and then it'll come up live and you can ask questions, you can make comments, and you can just have a good old time with us. So that's the administrative stuff. So let me just jump into the layout of the podcast. As you all know, we introduce our speaker. We ask her to just give a little snippet about herself because it wouldn't be fair for her to tell a whole story because we wouldn't have a need for a podcast, right? So she's just going to get a little snippet about who she is. And then we're going to give her a gift, right? We're going to give her a gift that will last forever. And then we'll jump into all the great questions that she has for us and what we're going to have for her on her platform with her family's legacy. So with that being said, Barbara, are you ready to come on?
I am here.
Barbara's ready. Barbara, we have fun around here. This is the Sharon Lee podcast show. You may not have seen me in this forum, but we like to have a lot of fun. We want you to be loose. We don't want you to overwhelm yourself. We just want you to be you. And with your extensive history and your major connections with Synergy and connecting and everything, you're going to be absolutely awesome. But could you do me a favor and just give the audience just a little background about who you are? And then we're going to give you a gift, and then we're going to jump into asking the questions. Is that okay?
That's great. Well, first of all, I am Vernon and Novella Spencer's pal. I have to say that because all that I am, God giving them to me as stewards over my life is the most important thing. I was born in Borger, Texas, but I grew up only 50 miles outside of that in Amarillo, Texas. That's my whole childhood, and everything that I am is here. I have been married to the love of my life, Carl Dunn, since 1968, the year I graduated high school. And I have 3 children, Carvin, Byron, and Rhonda. And they have been such a source for my life. Everything I've done in my life, they have helped me.
I just love it. Guys, Sharon Lee, is on the run all the time, trying to run 2 stories. We don't run from anything. We run to it, right? But Synergy girl, she's on the scene to point out things that we have in common. Now, you said that you graduated from high school in 1968. I was 5 years old in 1968. And that was also, unfortunately, the same year that Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. And I wrote about that in my book, True Synergy Work, Leading Within, the 7 Defining Principles of Knowing Yourself to Birth Greatness. So guys, that synergy moment, true synergy work is what it's all about, right? So making those connections on what we have in common. So with that being said, we want to give you a gift now, Barbara. So hold on, and I hope you like it.
Thank you, Sharon.
Barbara, I tell you, one of the major synergy moments is when I connected with you through, I want to say, it had to have been the Maryland Commission on African
Yes,
American History and Culture.
yes,
And during that time, I was a commissioner in 2013. Here's another synergy moment. And you were a commissioner as well in 2013. And the moment I found out about what you do in the community, it was like I'm marriage made in heaven because we have so much in common. You love the next generation. You're an advocate for the next generation. You know, I love the fact that I was able to bring you into the Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Blacks in Government, Robert C. Weaver Blacks in Government chapter, where you spoke on at the Dr. Martin Luther King program that unfortunately is not going on now, thanks to, the DEI being taken away from us. But I just want to say personally, thank you for the synergy connection. This is really outstanding how we've connected and stayed connected. Honestly, stayed connected for all these years. And that just tells me that God has a plan for us and it's not over yet. So I would like for you to, you have a lot of great projects you've worked on over the years. It's really unlimited, but I know you want to talk about your anthology book with your family called Connections, Telling Your Story. I want to first ask you, what was some synergy moments that you experienced before the book was even written? Give us a little background and bring us up to speed, and then feel free to share with us, and it's going to be done in another portion of the program, but some takeaways and actions of what you want families to do to tell their story. So to take us back a little, tell us, how this book came to be and some of those synergy moments that came out for you.
Well, you know what? I have to say the first synergy moment for me is my family, my mom and dad, and all of the oral history that they planted in me and my sisters, Frances and Lily, when we were growing up. Because fast forward to 1987, I was at a family reunion in Denver, Colorado. I met my cousin Audra at that time, and we both came there with a pad and pen ready to take down our history. And I asked my dad, who was the matriarch here at the reunion, and he introduced me to Willie Mae Miles. And I'll never forget that moment because when I asked her to talk, she told me, baby, don't dig too deep. So she didn't tell me anything that day, but the very next day, somebody found me in the hall and they said, she's ready to talk. And Audra and I sat with our pen and paper. And from that moment, we passed what we got to our cousin Brenda in Dallas. And the rest is history because a flow of information just started. But the key is the synergy moments are that God continued to connect me with family members in the most unusual ways. And that's what this book is about. All of my family members are telling their stories about the way we've been connected. And we know it's for a purpose. We don't know the fullness of it yet, but a lot has happened since that time. And that's really how this book came to be. 6 of my cousins and I said in 2010, when we found the plantation where our family was enslaved on, we said, we've got to write the book. On December 9th, I got a 3 a.m. wake-up call. And it was an urgency to finish this book. And that's how it happened.
Oh, wow. So tell us about the 6 family members. You say, are they living in Texas now? Were they in different parts of the country? How did you all connect?
Yes, they're in different parts of the country. First of all, Audra, that I mentioned at the 1987 reunion, when we met there, we've never been disconnected. I mentioned Brenda Gail Spencer, who was Robinson. She took the information, but she connected me with Pat Bowen Scott, who lives right in Virginia. We had been right that close to each other. I'm in Maryland, she's in Virginia, and we had been following each other around on events and things that we had attended together for years, but we never met until Brenda introduced us online through Facebook.
Wow.
My cousin Marilyn Williams, I met her on Facebook. She's my double cousin because she's also a Ball, which my mom is a Ball. And then Jerry Cadell Mills, that story is amazing. She is a cousin to my husband's, one of his best friends in childhood. My cousin was friends with Terrence since they were college. And it took 40 years. And we finally were at Terrence's house, sitting at the table. I met my cousin Henry. Henry is Jerry's cousin. So that's how I met Jerry. And the story just goes on. I mean, I've already told you a little bit, those connections happen like that. And that's how we came to be, saying that we would do this book, and it's gone on since then.
So the book was released when?
February 24th
Of this year.
2025. And that's a story in itself.
Oh my God, that's during Black History Month.
Yes, and it's the birthday of my cousin, my second cousin. Her father's my first cousin, Sheila Spencer, who joined the administrative team for the book along with my sister, Miko Scott. And so it ended up being released on her birthday.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So we definitely look forward to your family, reviewing this podcast and asking questions and sharing some of the information so the public can know, where, what's going on now. So what is your plans as you go forward with the book? How do you all plan on, just getting all of the family members, involved with helping you all get your book out there globally?
Well, you know what, we have some plans. What's really neat is our family right now is doing what we are calling an intergenerational exchange of knowledge. We're transferring the knowledge of our history to the next generation. And we have started a foundation, and the leaders of the foundation, all the board members and the officers, are the next generation. And what is really neat about it, when we started it, we made sure we had one of that generation with us. We call ourselves the Legacy Advisory Committee, because we're all elders. And we have grown up knowing that succession planning is important. I grew up knowing that. I lived that in my life. So everything I do, I have succession planning in mind. So those cousins of mine, Bobby Williams, Louis Stearns, Herbert Freeney, Audrey is on the team. My son Carvin Dunn is on the team, and Marilyn. We all came together with the same idea that we've got to make sure our next generation is aware of what's going on, and we pass the information. Wow. And it's amazing because the president of that team, as it turns out, I grew up with his family in Amarillo and never knew we were related.
Wow.
Us finding Monteverde Plantation has opened a door that I grew up with some cousins in Amarillo that I never knew were my cousins. And so Daryl Witherspoon, the president of the group, he's related to some people I grew up with in Amarillo, but I just met him last year. Wow. And it's the synergy that's being made is just amazing. We have some amazing cousins. They have amazing skills and talents. And we're finding out that our relationship goes beyond just meeting each other. It's who we are as people.
Awesome. Thank you. Guys, let me just share with you again, you're watching the third season of the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show. Our distinguished guest is Barbara Spencer Dunn. She's a former commissioner for the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture. She used to be on several committees. She's received several awards, from the ASALA organization. And we're going to kind of switch hats a little bit because I want y'all to know who you all are really talking to, right? I want you to know this lady's blessing that's been given to her because of all of her, boots on the ground service work in the community for years. God has blessed her to connect with her family and tell her family stories, and they're telling it together. So let me just switch hats a little bit. Tell me a little bit about ASALA. For those who don't know about ASALA, for those who don't know what the purpose of ASALA is and who established the organization, you used to be on some key committees, membership committee, youth committees. Tell us a little bit about that so we can bring our public who's not familiar with ASALA up to speed.
And you're right, Sharon, because it's hard for me to even discuss my life without talking about Carter G. Woodson, because I was introduced to him by my father at the age of 11. He had the Miseducation of the Negro on his bookshelf. And I looked at it and I said, wow, Miseducation of the Negro? What is that about, Dad? And he told me to read the book. So you know that my dad knew something about me at 11 years old to tell me to read the Miseducation of the Negro. That book it's amazing. But in reading the book, I noticed, because my father was a pastor for 36 years, And I went to Sunday school, BTU, church all day long on Sunday. I noticed the scriptural texts that were quoted in his book. He never said they were scripture, but I was picking that up all the way through. So Carter G. Woodson, he is the founder of the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History in 1915. The name was changed in the 60s to African American Life and History. And he is the person that institutionalized the study of Black history.
Wow.
And his goal was, he said that if people knew the truth about our history, they would not see us as inferior because they would understand the great contributions that we have made. So Dr. Woodson's organization, I'm going to fast forward from the time I was 11. When I turned 50 in 2000, do you know I was asked to come and work for ASALH? Now, all those years I had known Dr. Woodson, I never knew he had an organization. But when I found out, I didn't want a job. I had a business. I was an entrepreneur. But when I found out what this organization was, the lady asked me, how much do we need to pay you? And I said, whatever you can afford. Because I knew from that point in my life and for the rest of my life, I would be helping to promote Dr. Woodson's work because it aligned with everything that I was about, telling the truth about our shared history.
So that's powerful on so many levels. And again, for those who don't know, ASALH is the organization that creates the Black History Month theme every year since their establishment. Again, I like to invite people to participate. So I'm going to give an opportunity for you to win something at this moment. If you can tell, if anyone out there listening, the first one that can tell me what's the 2025 Black History Month theme, I am going to give you a gift, and you're not going to know about what it is until you give me the answer. So, Miss Gloria, I see you out there. I want you to share with your family and friends. I want, for those who are watching over there on YouTube, for those who are watching on, the Facebook group, Sharon Lee Breathing Podcast Show, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to think about it, but no Googling, guys. Don't Google the answer. You should know what the theme is. No Google, right? So while they're trying to figure that out, Barbara, let's come back to you. Now, the ASALH, I'm going to stick here for a second because people got to understand that Carter G. Woodson has a home in D.C., right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that home.
9th Street Northwest.
Say it again so they can hear it.
1538 9th Street Northwest, Washington, D.C. And what is very significant about that home, Dr. Woodson bought that home in 1922. And all of the work that he did with the association, he did from that home. From 1922 to 1950 when he passed. The home is a historic site. In fact, Vincent DeForest and his brother in 1976, because of the work that they did to get historic sites named in the National Park Service, Dr. Woodson's home became a landmark. But since that time, it is now a historic site. And it should be opening next year. And what's neat about that, Sharon, that's another synergy moment. During my time here at ASALH, I was blessed to work with Dr. Betty Gardner, Dr. Evelyn Brooks Higginbotham, when she was serving as president, and Dr. Betty Gardner as the chair of the committee. She chose me to be the co-chair, and I got a chance to help create the exhibits that are going to be in the Carter G. Woodson home. That is nothing but God. And my whole life is a series of just God's gifts, because he knew who I was created to be, and he just connected me that way. But Dr. Woodson's home is a treasure. And I want everybody, when it opens, you be looking out for it to see when it's going to open, but it is going to be a treasure. It's something like you've never had. And Sharon, what I want to say here is, the home was, the committee was the first committee of its kind to actually include young people from the very beginning.
Wow.
Yes. We talked about Kiamsha Youth Empowerment Organization. When I came in 2000, my first duty for ASALH was to transform Youth Day. And because Kiamsha is in Prince George's County, and the conference that year, ASALH's annual conference was in Washington, D.C., I was able to make a connection with them because Kiamsha, they are entrenched in their history. In fact, their mission statement is use history, intergenerational interaction to promote children abstaining from premarital sex, drugs, violence, and prejudice. So their history is totally a part of that. They promoted Dr. Woodson all their lives since they were founded in 1992. So when we put them together, they would take the annual theme, create a workshop or skit, and they would go around the country to the places where the theme was going to be, and they would present to the youth in that city about the theme in a way that they were meeting their own periods where they are. They are youth ages, grade 8 through 12th grade. So you can see the value of that.
Thank you for sharing that. Guys, y'all see why I wanted her to be the first guest on the 3rd season of the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast show, Synergy Girl, because it's nothing but synergy in this woman. And for you all that needs to know the definition of synergy, it's all about working again collectively together, because we can't do it by ourselves. But synergy to me also means that those downloads that God puts in you, and if he put those downloads in you and you don't act on it, you're missing connecting with some major heavy hitters out here. And that is the purpose of the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast show, to remind some, but also to educate others who are still out there working on the behalf of our community, especially our next generation and our elders, because those are my targeted audience. I love professionals, I love the public, but the youth and the elders are my, targeted audience. And I just want them to know how many people have been working out there on their behalf. So,
and Sharon,
what
I want you to do is let them say the answer to that question, because I'm gonna give it away with what I'm gonna say next as I get back to why my book is here.
I was just getting on it. This is how we synergize over here, guys. We know what one another's thinking. So the winner of the gift that I'm going to give is she didn't put or I'm not sure if it's a male or male or a female, because it's only a hashtag REIIB1657. If you could please put your name in the comment so we can appropriately recognize you as the winner of our first gift. And then, of course, once I get your name, I want to share with you, what you're going to win. So you are the winner. You and just put your name again in the comments. Whatever that REILB1657. Who is that? Let us know who you are. I don't know if that's you, Gloria. I don't think so, because you're under a different name. So African American and labor, guys, is the 2025 theme for Black History Month. Granted, there may not have been many programs in the government, but you can take it to the bank. January, if certain federal agencies were not shut down, most of the agencies would have been having the Dr. Martin Luther King observances and celebration. And we would have had guest speakers out there talking about the importance of history. Same for Black History Month. For Black History Month, the Robert C. Weaver Blacks in Government at HUD did wonderful programs for years. And I just happened to have been the president for that the Robert C. Weaver Blacks in Government Blacks in Government organization back in 2016. And believe me, we were on it. Dr. Martin Luther King, Black History Month, Women History Month, Asian History Month, Hispanic History Month. We really told the story. So for those who are out there still pushing and celebrating our history, yes, celebrate it some more, because the theme is African American and labor from Asala for 2025. So I know Barbara wants to get into some more juicy information about Asala, but we want to also focus on her actual book as well. So the winner would not only get a copy of my book, True Synergy Work, Leading Within, the 7 Defining Principles of Knowing Yourself to Birth Greatness. Barbara, I want to purchase a copy of your anthology, and I want to give the winner a copy of that as well. So for the winner, if we're not connected on Facebook, shoot me an email at ccparker123@aol.com. That's C as in cat, Parker, Parker, 123@aol.com. And I'm going to ask for your address and your phone number or whatever, and I can call you and find out how to get this winning gift to you. This priceless synergy gift, I'll call it like that. So Barbara, come on, bring it. What else do you want to share about Asala as it relates to the theme?
Well, what I want to share, the last thing I want to share about Asala, because it leads me right back to this book. Dr. Woodson also founded the Journal of Negro History, now Journal of African American History, the very next year in 1916. And in the front of that book, there were 5 things he said that ways you could help the cause. And the last 2 were collect all you know about your family history and send it to the association so they can help you get the word out. And that's exactly what my family has done. My family, when we discovered the plantation where my family was enslaved on in 2010, and one of my cousins, Artemis Bowens, organized a group for us to come there. In fact, the picture at Monteverde is our picture. It's the first time these owners, the Kochs, actually had a chance to meet descendants. That picture is the picture when we were there. Well, from that day, things just started happening. And so what we did in this book, we reached out to the generations across our family. And what's so unique about this book is it's over 90 stories and perspectives in this book. It's 215 pages.
Wow.
And from the time I sent an email out to 48 of my cousins on December 9th, 2024, in less than 30 days, Sharon, this book, all the stories were submitted.
Wow.
And the team, our own personal team, family members, did all the editing and got the book published. But what's so unique about it, the majority of the stories are our family members 55 and under. And they have taken the lead. So what I'm talking to everybody about, how important it is for right now, if you're 70 and older and you haven't told your story, you need to tell your story to the younger generation so they can have it. But I'm encouraging every family to consider putting it in a book. This is an heirloom for our family. We didn't skimp or scrape on the price. We did a hardcover. We did it in color. It's got the best paper. But you know what's very interesting? This cover, when you feel it, is very beautiful. But when it comes to you, it looked like it had marks on it. And we found out just with a damp cloth, you could wipe them off. But when we told Amazon about that, they're coming with less marks. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful cover, but with just a damp cloth, not wet, just damp. It goes right away. It has a furry feeling. And what was really neat about the cover, all it says is connections. Tell your story, no pictures. And we brought together a theme of intergenerational interaction by doing that. The classiness of it, but the shadowing of the connections brings in the next generation, a feel to it. And to tell your stories in italics, and it's like the stories are going to continue to keep being told. That's what that italics, it looks like tell your story is running. And so we're going to keep telling our story through the years.
Well, I'm excited because when we started promoting this 3rd season, and we made it clear, to get ready for some extraordinary American history that includes the African American experience in America and abroad, we just hit the jackpot, because to have you be able to share exactly what it takes to really collect your history, and to see so willing participants, so many family willing participants, especially the next generation, to be a part of this book and this project, it is totally priceless. So I want to say kudos to you again on a job well done. Now I'm going to go into another segment of our program, and at this time I got to look out for my sponsors, my team, my volunteers. So Chris, if you could, I would love for you to bring up a picture of your book that you have, because you're one of our sponsors, even though you're in our engineering. I just want to always, give synergy gifts on how we stay connected, because it's nothing like working collectively with people who really got your back. Now, this is another new author. Her name again is Krista Glenn, Smart Video Girl, and she is smart, guys. She is smart. Her book is called Do the Work, Keep the Faith, Aligning with Your Authenticity Self. Guys, what better way to segment this into today's story? As a sponsor, I would love for her to put her website in the comments or how people can purchase her books, because this is half of the battle. Most people, may not know all the gifts they have with inside them. But if you're inspired and empowered to bring out the gift within you, you just need tools to make it happen. So this is another tool, and I'm going to, although Chris is going to put her link on how people can purchase her book, I'm going to give that away as a gift to someone as well. So what I would like the next person to ask and to be a winner, and this is about our guests. I want y'all to remember, because one of the things that I do with my organization, you see my little Rosa logo at the top, which means ROSA. It means remembering our ancestors' synergistic association. Remembering what our ancestors had in common, right? Remembering how they came together to socialize for the betterment of the community. And most importantly, the keyword, were two keywords in that for me: remember and synergy, okay, or synergistic. So remembering Barbara's presentation in the beginning. She said that she was from somewhere in Texas. What city was she in Texas? And I'm going to give you a copy of Crystal Glenn's book. Okay. What city is Barbara from, or was originally from, or her family's from, her childhood home is from in Texas? Okay. So I'll give you all a few minutes. I see some comments coming in. I'm going to, oh, look, somebody on a roll. Wait a minute. Oh, yes. I love to always say thank you all out there for engaging us. Thank you for, and if you want to, I don't know if that's your legal name, but if that's just your social media name, if you don't mind sharing your legal name, Destiny or Dynasty, please do. But I just want to say congratulations to you on so many levels, because you're engaged, and I've seen your comments come in. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. I hope you'll share it out to your family and friends. Okay, thank you.
That's actually my cousin.
Oh, I wasn't sure who that was. Thank you.
Foundation. Yes.
Thank you for joining. Yes, you will get a book, copy of Crystal Glenn's book. I'm gonna give you a copy of my book as well. I know you already got, Barbara's book, but you're gonna be booked down, guys, and that's some synergy for you. So those 3 books are going to be priceless. Shoot me your email. Shoot me an email at ccparker123@aol.com. Give me your address. I'm going to mail that to you. Let's all congratulate all of the winners so far, guys. Let's give them a great congratulations. What I also want to do before we get into the second part of asking the question, and I mentioned to you, Barbara, because you have so much information to share, this may be a part 1 to part 2 of the show, but I want Chris, if you could share the video production again that we did for those who may not have been on earlier. I want you to, we can talk all day long, but it's nothing like, pictures, which is worth 1,000 words, right? So Chris, if you could share that video production again, I would love for those to see her and her family's legacy again. awesome. Guys, we just skipping into our history. We skipping, we running, we jumping, we doing backflips. I'm not playing with this history, guys. Okay. And that's what, Synergy Girl is all about. I'm just so excited to, be able to create an opportunity so that we can share our history. But Barbara, back to the timeline in the
Yes.
beginning of the book, you shared that your first ancestors known to be stolen from Africa and brought to the colony of Virginia. What did that mean to you?
My cousin Brenda said to me one time, we've been living in Prince George's County, Maryland since 1974. And all of the activity that's been going on, I had no idea that my family was from this area. Bess was stolen from Africa, and she ended up at the Nottoway Plantation in Virginia. Mm-hmm. And the way we found that out, because Dorothy Franks, who is someone who was very instrumental in helping the Laneville Alumni Association, where my parents actually went to school there, they put together the 2018 event that brought all of us together once we found the plantation. Well, she found a court case. And everybody, I want you to really listen to this, because some of you guys might have one. My family actually sued for their freedom in 1810.
Wow.
And won in 1814. And in that suit, all the names of our relatives are listed there. Now, this is another thing I want everybody on this phone to remember. This is why I'm telling you to do your oral history. Give your history that you know that hasn't been written down to the younger generation. Because our family members had given us so much information, we knew the names. When our family's name showed up in Dorman Winfrey, who did his dissertation on Monteverde, he had 80 enslaved people listed. They were our relatives. But how did we know? Because our family left us oral history. But now I'm on this court case, and we're seeing how our names continue to be repeated. Our family really used an African tradition. They renamed their children after family names. In fact, when slavery ended in 1865, this is so powerful to us. They did not take the enslaver's name. They took the father's first names and made it their last names. And think about that. If 5 families did that, if we didn't know our oral history, we would not be able to keep up with each other. But we know that because it was told to us. But back to the timeline. When you look at the book and you see the timeline, I go from Bess, who married Indian Jack. Now we know where our native came from, because we knew we had Native American in our family, but we didn't know the originating of it. And they had children, and they went from Virginia, we went to Georgia, we went to Alabama, and then to Texas. And what we know is our family ended up at Monteverde in Texas, but we were also at other plantations. But what I want you to understand is one of the ways you learn more about your family history is connecting to the enslaver's family. The oldest picture we have in our family is a picture that one of the enslaver's relatives gave to us.
Wow.
It's little Tabby, and she's holding Albert Devereaux as his nanny. And that's why they still have the picture in their files. But my cousin Pat Bowen Scott first got that picture from one of the Devereaux. And it's so important for us. And now we also know that the one family that kept the Devereaux name, they knew they were Devereaux, which is why they did not change their name. It is so important, you guys, and I cannot say this enough. We're in a time now that if you don't value and share your history with your children so that they can pass it to the next generations, we will be what Dr. Woodson always feared. He always said, we do not want to become a negligible factor in the history of this country.
Wow. So
I am really doing a charge. One of the activities, Sharon, that we talked about, and you might want to bring that up now, is an activity that I want to leave everybody with the idea of how to utilize it.
Well, I tell you what, I'm a true believer of sharing his information, but not now, only because stuff stays fresh on your mind just before the show is about to end. So we got some other things that we got to touch on before we bring that out. But what I want to comment back on what you said, which was the naming of family members back in the 1800s, the 1900s. My family is from Calvert County, Maryland. And it's my understanding that my great great grandparents had 18 children, and we were able to only find 13 children out of the 18. We believe some of them went over to Trinidad when they were fighting the 1812 war for England. So
Mhm.
there's a book out there in Trinidad called the Americana. And in that Americana book, there's some Parkers who we believe left to go back in or during and fight during the 1812 war. So we don't know who they are. So 13 of our descendants from my great grandparents, we don't know. But we did find, I mean, 5 of them, not 13, 5 of them. But we do have the 13. And what we found that the families back in those days did the exact same thing that your family did. The children name their children after their siblings' children
That's
so that we
great.
could always connect with one another, reconnect with one another. And if we got, lost and didn't know, find a way, they knew God would make the synergy happen. So we would come back together again and find one another. And I can testify, guys, what Barbara is saying because it happened to my family. I had no idea about my African American history, culture, or my family legacy, but God just put certain pieces in my hand, which I call auspicious occurrences, but I always acted on it. I never just sat back and didn't do anything with it. So we were able to find all kinds of family members all over the DMV
Awesome.
and across the country. So I'm telling you, what she's sharing with you is so real. So for all those out here who are having an issue with family, let it go right now. We need you all to come together more
Yes.
now than ever because the next generation lives depend on it. Okay. I'm gonna pause right there. So Chris, if you could, there's another flyer I would love to have you bring up, and I'm not sure. um, bring up the next flyer for me so that I can share with the community. What we're going to be doing. We're asking for sponsors. We're asking for vendors. We're asking not vendors. We're asking for. Sponsors, investors. We're asking for those who may have an ad if they want to share their actual ad on our show. We want to share this with you. We want to give you an opportunity to share, your information on our show. So, Chris, let me know if I got special and didn't put it in our tool. Let me know so I can move on because there's a lot of work doing this, guys, and but this synergy girl loves to make things happen. I may have not uploaded that image, but I know it's in the video presentation. It may not be in our tool, but just know that we are seeking. If you want to advertise your business over here on the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show, we got over 1,000 members on our podcast show on the Facebook group. If you want to be a sponsor and help us get out globally, if you want to be an investor, if you want to be on our team, if you want to be a volunteer, just know that these opportunities are open for you. So please, please, please let me know by shooting me an email. And this is a different email address. So it's going to be Sharon at the making of you, the letter U.com. Sharon at the making of you. It is our time, guys. No matter what's going on in the crazy world, this is our time to connect, reconnect, and most importantly, stay connected. Because I used to always fear that people would not understand what it means when I say history will repeat itself. I used to always say it, and I know Barbara did as well, but we're living it in our time right now. History has repeated itself and is not looking so good for the disadvantaged and the underserved. And that's across the board. I'm not trying to just talk about African Americans. I'm talking about everyone. The disadvantaged and the underserved are hurting, and they're going to be hurting more. And what better way to bring us all back together for the purpose and to, for the I guess the saving of our community. What else can I say? We have to save our community, and the only way to do that if we all come together. Doesn't matter about your race, doesn't matter about your religion, doesn't matter about your income, doesn't matter about your none of that. Let's all come together for the betterment of us all, because our community need one another. So
Sharon, something you said just then, when coming together, one of the best legacies that our family left us, and it's true of really a lot of African Americans, it's the legacy of our faith. Our belief in God, just like our family did back then. All of these synergy moments that are happening, we know we cannot do anything but give credit to God for that, because he really is bringing us together, and he's never going to let us down in that way. So you said something very important, and no matter what people's faith is, their background, or everything, just knowing who created you is really having everything to do with what's happening right now. That is one of our greatest legacies. And one of the things I wanted to share in this book too, we have QR codes all throughout. And one of the QR codes in here is the 2018 event. Niticia Ross, we did not know she was going to do this, but Dorothy Franks brought her to that event. She's a young girl. And we got to check on Niticia because her last name is Ross, and we have some Rosses in our family. But one of the QR codes is a event that we did at Asala for a conference. And it really is the whole story of us finding the plantation, finding that court case and all of that is right in this book. There are so many important things that we have left as a legacy, not only for our family, but for other families to have an example of what they can do for their family.
Awesome. So we got 7 minutes to go. So I want to get to your recommendation on how people can start collecting their family's journey. But I want to, you said something too that just, sparked a light in my mind. And it brings me to this question. So your story is an African-American journey in America and abroad. How do you see the journey right now in real time today?
And the way I see the journey, I see myself connecting with my family in Africa. One of the stories in our book is a cousin in England who was born right outside of London. And she connected with us through DNA. You guys, DNA does not lie. We have connected with so many of our family members that way. And when I did my African ancestry, I know that we're from Nigeria. Several of my other cousins have found out they are from Nigeria, but we're in other parts of Africa as well. This book is what our family is saying. We put this book together.
Can you show it on the screen? Can you show your book on the screen?
Yes.
Yay.
We put this book together as a legacy to our family, but we're hoping the missing family members that we have not found in Tabby and Scott's children will find us because this book exists now. And so we're looking for Roundo's line. We're looking for Matilda, and we just connected with Matilda for the first time through a relative that found us through DNA, and her name is Sydney. And so that's what's happening. And so what I'm saying to everybody, don't be lackadaisical about making this happen for your family. Do whatever it takes. Come together as a family. Because at the end of the day, y'all, we all cousins.
That's right. So with that being said, I want you to put in the comments where people can go and literally purchase the book. But I want to share a synergy moment with the audience so they can know how real this faith is. I want to say, it may have been October 13th, maybe. Yeah, I think it was the 13th. If I'm wrong, blame it on the head, not the heart. I was in Cambridge, Maryland. I was heading to the Maryland Commission on African American bi-monthly public meeting at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore in Princess Anne County. And I wasn't sure if I was going the right place. And I called Barbara up and I said, Barbara, I thought I was going to Annapolis for the commission meeting, but I don't know. So please call someone and make sure I'm going to the right place. Barbara was able to get on the phone, guys, while I was driving, got in contact with the executive chair of the Banneker Douglas Harriet Tubman Museum and say, Sharon, a former commissioner is trying to find y'all. Where are you all at? And she was able to say, yeah, Sharon, you're going the right directions. You're going to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So I get to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. I find the one where the public, commission was, the Maryland Commission on African American History Committee was meeting. But prior to getting to that room, guys, and I'm gonna tell you how synergy works. Prior to getting to that room, I ran across an exhibit. It was called the Sankofa African American Traveling Exhibit. This lady was from South Carolina. She had spent 5 hours setting up a traveling African American exhibit at the Maryland Eastern Shore. And right next door, the Maryland Commission was having their meeting. And guess what, guys? They were not aware of one another at all. So you know what Synergy Girl does, right? You know, being a Synergy Girl, we're gonna change that on the spot. So not only was I blessed to take Miss Angela, who's the owner of the Sankofa African American Traveling Museum, introduced her to the chair over there of the committee, and also the national prayer and chair and the vice. I think her name is what's Chantel's name? Chanel's last name, Barbara. What is Chanel's last name?
Oh, she just got married. Compton was her name before, but now she's married.
Okay, Chanel Compton is the executive director for the Banneker Douglas Harriet Tubman Museum in Annapolis. And I took Miss Angela over to the commission meeting, introduced them. They came over and they saw the exhibit. And guys, it was like a marriage, another marriage made in heaven. But that's how synergy works. Someone has to believe in what we're doing. And then when you believe in what we're doing, then what's the next thing, guys? You have to make the connection. That's what Barbara book is all about. You have to do the work. You have to make the connection. So look, we only got a few minutes left. And I want Chris to put up your recommendation on how people can start telling their story. So Chris, that colorful document
and
that
has document is
information in there, if you could put that on the screen, we would really appreciate it. Thank you, Chris.
And while she's putting it up, what the document is, everybody, is a list of historical events that happened in the United States of America. As you get your information from your family, insert significant dates of your family within this. And what you will find out is how historical events in history have impacted your family. So all the green lines on this document are my family history. I inserted things like when Bess arrived from Africa, when Tabby and Scott were born. You know, I inserted my mom and dad's birthdays, when the Anadarko church that Green Lewis, our great-grandfather, donated the land for in Anadarko. I put the founding of that church in 1868, on and on and on. When you do that, what you're going to find is how these events in history are a part of you, because all of us are history makers. All of us are part of history. And you can learn what happened in this country by doing this activity, because the list of activities, it'll make you research some of them if you don't know about them, but also you will be adding information as well. So this is a great tool for you to get started with and to do as an activity with some of your family members when you're just having dinner on Sunday.
Awesome. That's major. Thank you for sharing that, guys. I know we're going to go a little over because this is really good information that I really want to make sure that you all have an opportunity to ask questions, to leave comments, and I don't mind that at all. But Barbara, just know that this has to be a part 2, okay? Because you've covered so much information that I think is so priceless to our community, and I just really want people to understand how important it is to connect with family. So I just wanted to share, a couple of websites that you all can connect with myself and my organization. If you know a guest who wants to be on the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast show, feel free to always go to our website and let us know, and you can share their information with us at the Sharon at makingofyou.com. I'm just going to put all this stuff in the comments. for you all can have it. But just know that we are about telling our history, telling our story, connecting with those who may not know us in order for them to, just basically build relationship with us. Barbara, what do you have coming up next? Thank you, Chris.
So actually, I'm going to be the keynote speaker for the Marietta House in Prince George's County to talk about Dr. Woodson turning 150 years old this year. I'm very excited. And that's going to be on December 3rd. And we'll make sure the information gets out to our friends and family. But I'm doing that on behalf of the Prince George's County Truth Branch of Asala. And that's the one that I am a member of. My whole family are members. We're all life members of Asala. And I really look forward to people attending that.
That's amazing, guys. I hope y'all got y'all a glass of water, because I tell you, I've been drinking this water since I sat down. I knew I was going to be thrilled with this presentation, but this is some good water over here. And believe me, it is water.
And Sharon, something we should leave everybody with too. If you could put my email address that I put for you to tell them that's how they can contact me. But next year, you guys, is the 100th anniversary of Negro History Week. That's now Black History Month.
Wow.
It was founded in 1926. So everybody get ready now, because you got to celebrate. And let me tell you guys something. No matter what's going on in this country, they cannot stop us from learning and knowing our history. What we've already put out there will never be destroyed. Why? Because we're going to continue it. As long as we're on this earth living, we're going to continue our legacy. So really join me, you guys, in the hope that that is true, and have joy in knowing that.
Well, I would testify as a synergy girl, because God has blessed me on several platforms, and God has blessed me to see so many things happening behind the scenes. And I'm telling you guys, thanks to technology, thanks to even social media, thanks to the organization who are doing the boots on the ground, that what am I trying to say? Oh, I can't even get my mind right because I'm so excited, guys. So forgive me. But that ground root present work, that work where they are really, really, really working behind the scenes. There's a lot of people out there doing it, guys. Don't believe the hype. Please don't believe the hype. People are boots on the ground. They're doing that ground root work. And believe me, it's all about us just connecting. So I just want to say, for those, again, who are interested in being a guest on the Sharon Lee Briefing podcast show, shoot me an email. For those who want to advertise their products or services, shoot me an email. I'm looking for those sponsors. I'm looking for those investors. If you got a project that you need help with, I do project management as a trade. Feel free to reach out to me. But I just want to thank all of our guests who joined today. I want to thank, Barbara's family who's joined. I want to thank you, Barbara, for an excellent job. Well done, well done, well done. Our engineer, I just want to always thank you, Smart Video Girl. Crystal Glenn, Smart Video Girl. I can't wait to give your book to the winner. I definitely will have you also send me how I can purchase another copy and everything, and I will send it. So I've already given my email address. We're going to end with my theme song that's going to play for a little bit, guys, because I want to dance tonight. I want to dance this morning. I want to dance all day long, because you all have made my day. So I just want to thank all of you all out there that's watching. Please share again. What we will do, guys, we are hosting our podcast show every other Friday. So I will look forward to sharing the gift of letting you know who our next podcast guest will be. But again, if you're interested on getting someone to speak on our podcast show, go to our website at theleadingwithin.org, and we will definitely connect with the person. But Barbara, you're a doll. I love our synergy. Thank you so very, very much. Crystal, if you could do our theme song, keep me on the screens, because I want to show people that this is about fun over here as we learn about our history. Thank you. Stay behind, Barbara. In the green room. Give it to her, Barbara.
Synergy, energy, living legends are reaching me. Sharing knowledge with you and me, teaching us how to lead with Sharon Lee.
All right. That's
All
a
right.
beautiful theme
You got to
song.
keep that going, Chris. You got to keep that theme song going.
Sharon Lee.